you've probably already seen on your news feed that there have been some spectacular northern and southern lights that happened on Friday, 10th of May. Now, those of you that have been following me will know that I have shifted from being an emissary for the moon to an emissary for Venus. And so rather than doing daily lunar updates, I'm being directed to do transmissions every Friday. Why? Well, Friday is named Friday because it's ruled by Venus. So the Norse name for Venus was Freya, and it was called Freya's Day. And so I find it very significant that, for a start, this event happened on a Friday when we are having the solar transit through Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So the day that Venus rules, when the sun is moving through Venus, and she lights up the sky, both hemispheres, okay, and you can see images below on my page. And the rainbow, it represents the bridge between the worlds. So the tree of the three worlds, which represents the underworld, the subconscious, where all of our beliefs are and our fears, the everyday world where we experience karma, the law of cause and effect. In other words, we learn through doing. When I say this or do this, these are the consequences I have to live out. And the upper world, which is where we reside in the realm of the archetypal or the mythic. So from a winged perspective, we can see our lives and understand it from a symbolic point of view, so that instead of taking everything personally, we're looking at the lesson and the blessing in it. And this is how we rise above 3D, or living hell on earth. The roosters have started here in Bali, so I'm just going to plug in my mouth. There we go, that might help. So the dominant colour was crimson. And crimson is the colour of the 8th chakra. So you can see the chakras here on my necklace, also on my singlet. So this is the rainbow bridge within us. And the tree of life is the sacred feminine principle called the Shekinah. And this is what in the Hindu or the Tantric path is the central pillar of wisdom. This is how we receive intuition when we open up these 7 portals or vortices, dimensions, eyes of God as they're known to the Sufis. Oh, these roosters, they've only just started up. So when we embody the 7 faces of Venus, Venus is released from her suffering in the underworld as Psyche, the wounded maiden. And then she is the ascended Venus, known as Ishtar, the goddess of the rainbow. She's also known as Aurora. This is why the rainbow lights are called Aurora Borealis. So this is a sign from her, from the ascended Venus. And I've, been saying all year, she's rising. I mean, she's been rising, well, I would say, since the late 60s when we entered the cusp of the Aquarian age. But this year, Venus is the only planet not going retrograde, not appearing to be moving backwards through the astrological mandala from our vantage point on Earth. So that is significant. She's the only planet moving forwards for the whole of the year. This is, her year, so to speak. And the event that I'm doing in Edinburgh for the Lionsgate, this is a portal that, we can harness for the ascension of Venus. So, the goddess of the rainbow, she is one who helps us to bridge the world. So we're not stuck suffering, thinking that things are done to us, forever seeing ourselves as either the victim or the martyr. The goddess of the rainbow is the one who helps awaken our Shakti, our goddess life force energy, which is the serpentine meridian of sacred feminine energy, or the force, right? So it's very significant that she's saying, hello, yeah, that this is a year when more people are going to be awakening their Kundalini, and that we're going to see the rising of the goddess in so many different ways, yeah? Last night I went to see the film Origin, and it spoke about the caste system. And the caste system is basically hierarchy. You know, this is how patriarchy operates, in a pyramid structure where everybody it falls into line, if you will, according to the status, the social status that is provided to them. And of course, in this it means there's, you know, a top dog, and the 99% are grappling amongst themselves, fighting amongst themselves to not be in the lowest rung, the lowest caste, treated as the worst citizens. And this is something that, you know, the only way we're going to transcend that is by raising our consciousness, yeah? Because we only seek power and status if we think love isn't possible. And so the way to heal the caste system is to reinstate the ancient loving wisdom traditions of the goddess, which, instead of having a pyramid of power where, you know, there's always a scapegoat and a dominant ego ruling, a tyrant, whether that's in your workplace, in your, you know, family of origin, or on the world stage, the only way that we heal that is to reinstate a different social structure, the ancient social structure, which is the structure of circle, where everyone has an equal voice, where everyone is equally respected, equally seen, equally listened to. And all indigenous cultures, so all of our ancestors sat in circle. It's how decisions were made. It wasn't somebody ruling over everybody else. And yes, the most senior, the elders, the wisdom keepers, were the ones that would be deferred to for the final say, but everybody had a voice. So, you know, I've been facilitating circles for 27 years and been training people to run circles via my online courses for since 2013, and before that in person. So if you want details on that, they're accessible. You can get instant access if you go to themoonwoman.com and click on facilitator training. We need as many people to step up and facilitate circles, because what this does is it changes the landscape. It reinstates a social scaffolding that supports people to grow in a way that is healthy, emotionally and psychologically. And, you know, everybody will be stuck in the underworld if they don't have the right support to get out. We can't get out alone, you know. Although, you know, facing ourselves in our aloneness is part of that journey, but we need a mentor, yeah? We need somebody who's already gotten out of the underworld to help us to map the way. And that's what my show is about in Edinburgh. It's taking audiences out of the underworld in 7 steps, over the 7 dimensions, over the rainbow, to embody what it is to be one of the rainbow tribes, somebody who is soul dominant, because the soul is the rainbow body. Yeah, our light, when we refract it at all 7 gates, when we embody all 7 facets of both our feminine and our masculine expression, because the soul is both, then we are that living rainbow bridge, yeah? So I find it so significant that we have this event, and the closer that we get to the pole shift, we're going to see more of this, more of the aurora borealis being seen further down, closer and closer to the equator until we see that happen all around the planet, and that's when we know the pole shift is about to happen, that we are going to shift into a new dimension. So you won't miss it. Yeah, for all those people saying, are we in the Aquarian age yet? You know, it's like, are we in the photon belt yet? Believe me, you can't miss it. We will know. But it's getting closer and closer, hence the bigger the solar flares that we're having as well. So yes, life is becoming very intense because the more light that comes onto our field, the more it brings up the shadow for us to have to transmute, to feel our trauma, feel our fear in order to transcend it. So the reason I'm so excited about the Lion's Gate is this is when the planet Sirius, well, it's an entire star system, which is 20 times brighter than our sun, is moving over the Earth. And it happens as an annual event, and the zenith or the midpoint is the 8th day of the 8th month, the 8th of August. And, you know, we know lions are sacred to Leo, which is the sign the sun is in at that time, but they were also sacred to the ascended Venus, Ishtar. In fact, her temples had processionals of lions going all the way up to it, because you must be lion-hearted to face your fears and risk looking like a fool for love. And this is what we're called to do this year, okay? To, you know, if there was a hashtag, it's love over fear. That's it. That's the theme for this year. So the goddess of love, the rainbow goddess, she's calling us. You know, I can't not get into this position of the Sheila Nagig, which is welcoming people into the cosmic doorway for rebirth, to embody the rainbow soul. So yeah, if you want to know more details about Yantra, I'll put the link in below. The debut single from the soundtrack came out on May the 8th, the new moon in Taurus, and do have a look below for those spectacular images of the aurora borealis. And you know, crimson is the colour of the 8th chakra, the Godhead, the ascended Magdalene, which is the Venus. So yeah, special times. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to share this video. Ciao for now.